Okay, this is a Pilates mat class with an emphasis on use of a stretch band or Thera-band into the class, incorporating it into the regular Pilates repertoire of exercises. When you're using your band, I'm using kind of a medium weight. There's different weights, of course, so remember you can always use lighter, heavier, but I wouldn't go real heavy for the use of what we're doing. We're just trying to bring a little bit of challenge and focus in a slightly different way, but we don't want to make it like, oh, let's really work out hard. It's more about just incorporating a little more intermediate level challenge to the mat work, even more advanced in some cases. And then also remember, when you're using your band, always keep good wrist alignment, make sure there's and always remind, if you're teaching, always remind your clients of a good wrist, arm positioning in use of the band, good hand holds, etc. On the foot, always hooking it carefully in the middle of the foot so it can't pop off. If it's on the ball of the foot, remember it can pop off. All right, now we're going to start standing, and so what you do, I have a fairly long piece of band so that I can use it in a variety of ways, but if you have a shorter band, it should still work. And I'm going to make it in kind of a U shape, crunch up on the ends, like just kind of scrunch up on it to get a little, mine's longer, so I'm going to get a little less length. Then step into the middle of that little U shape with your feet planted on the band with about a few inches between the ankle bones. And then when I'm standing straight with my arms straight alongside, I should already have some tension on the band. And so you want to scrunch up to where you feel like the tautness in the standing position. Lift and lengthen abdominals, organize into your neutral, and here we go with a roll down. Nod the chin, scoop the abdominals as you roll down, keeping the arms straight as you roll down, but yes, you'll lose your tension. Then at the bottom, take a small bend of the knees over the second toe, hollow and scoop, catch that tension on the way up, draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs as you're rolling up with that tension, and organize back to neutral. We'll do that a couple more times. Hollow navel to spine as you roll down, peeling off your imaginary wall. Bend the knees, inhale. Engage abdominals throughout. Catch that tension, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, and unarticulate back up to your neutral. And one more time, inhale, curve and roll down. Bending, inhale, scoop and roll up, catching that tension. And this time when you get back to neutral standing, you're just going to press back a little bit with straight arms, a little chest expansion, and alongside. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Feeling that resistance, but stretching across the front chest while engaging, strengthening upper mid back a little bit, working back of arm, and one more, press back and center. Then take a small bend of the knees. I still have tension on my band even when I bend my knees, and then stretch, gliding the shoulder blades down against the tension. Inhale, exhale. One more, inhale, exhale. Then you're going to kind of puff the arms to the side, almost like you had a little puff under the armpit. It's not a straight press out, it's more of the upper arm kind of pressing out, like a little puffing air under the armpit. It's not a big movement. And one more. Take another bend, stretch, then circle the shoulders up, back, and down 4 times. And 2, and 3, and 4. Bend again, inhale, stretch, exhale. Now bring the heels together, toes diagonal in your Pilates V, and then take a small puff to the side as you bend, and stretch, bend, and stretch. One more, bend, and stretch. Then press back again, keep the legs zipped, and alongside, and press back, and alongside, nod, curve, and roll down. Bending into that diamond shape. Scoop the abdominals to roll up, catch that tension, draw the shoulder blades down, widen the collarbone as you roll up. Now bend your knees, carefully step off your band. Go into your seated neutral. You can use a sitting pad in order to relax the hip flexors. Then, organizing your neutral, let's first take a couple of side lateral bends. Reach up and over, just kind of warming up still here, and up and out, and lift, and up and out, and lift, and up and out, and lift, and then reach up and stretch from the waist for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, press. Interlace behind, give it a little stretch. We're warming up and stretching a little because we're going to be using that band throughout, and you do want to prepare your clients, not just go straight into a lot of band work. Got to warm up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to use the band, not though with resistance. So you can just take your band slightly wider than shoulder width, but I have a really long one, so I'm just going to fold it in half and hold it just ever so slightly taut and wider than shoulder width. And I'm not pulling on the band, I'm just holding it taut for the rib cage arms. So you grow tall on top of sit bones, reach forward and up. And because we're using the band with tautness, it does activate and engage the muscles just a slightly bit more than if you're using the dowel. Because you're not pulling on the band, but keeping it taut, you are activating the muscles, and you do that with the pull, but it's just slightly different. And on the next one we add, inhale, bend to the top of the back of the head, reach it up and forward down, and inhale, exhale, reach and stay. Do a tiny side dip, do not lift the sit bones, and center. It's a high diagonal, and center, and dip, and center, and dip, and center. Tiny press back, 1, just slightly behind the shoulders, not very big, we're still warming up. 2 more, 4, and 5, and bring it forward and down, and take it behind. And if you're on sit pads, you should be able to clear the floor, but you can start a little away from the floor behind you. You're gonna press for stretch back, and down, and press, again, chest expansion, not moving the torso, just keeping your neutral, and down, press, and down. Now take it around, take a small piece of your band, cross your wrist, hold the band with the wrist crossed, and just, again, I'm not pushing, I'm just holding it taut. Elbows bent and hands just across from solar plexus, and get tall on sit bones. Then rotate to the right, inhale, keeping a slight tautness on your band, exhale. Rotate, inhale, exhale, and spiral upward, and center, and twist from above the waist. 2 more, inhale to twist, exhale to center, inhale, exhale. All right. Now, let's take a mermaid, inhale up and over, mermaid prep, twist, again, still warming up, open, not using the band on this one, up and out, twist, open, and up, ear to the shoulder, another side, ear to the shoulder, center. Let's take a roll down seated. Inhale, curve and roll forward. Roll it up, and I like to stretch those quadratus a little bit, so let's go to the right diagonal, curve to that diagonal, keeping the opposite sit bone down. And roll it up. Other side, inhale, up and over, curve, reach. Inhale. Exhale to roll up, soles together. We'll do a little C curve, hollow up and back, round forward, lengthen flat back, and center. Scoop and curve, round forward. And again, we're still warming up, and center. I'm doing a pretty good amount of time warming up because we're going to be using the band through almost all of the mat class. And you always, if you're going to do that, you do want to warm up first, because the band is going to bring a lot of challenge in a different way, And you just want to make sure shoulders are warmed up, upper mid-back is warmed up, abdominals are warmed up a little bit, and the low back area has been elongated and stretched out. So having said that, we're going to do some bridging next. And so I am going to use the band, but I want to do a few regular bridges first. So let's just have our band next to us. Roll down onto your back in your neutral spine. And I'm actually going to move this forward just a little bit for you. And then what we're going to be doing is just our regular bridging. Nothing under the head but your mat, arms alongside, band just next to you. Now I like to use spacers between the knees, and you can obviously opt to do that. So I'm going to use the ball between the knees as a spacer and squeeze on it slightly to activate the inner legs. Feet is still only about a fist apart right under your knees, and then hollow and scoop, roll up to bridge, hold it, inhale, hollow and roll down. And we're going to just do 2 regular bridges here. That was the first one. Scoop and curl, roll up to bridge, hold at the top, inhale, heavy chest first, and articulate through each bone. Now pick up your band and hold it a little wider than shoulder width. And so we don't want to have it pulled, we just want it taut again. And then make a good hand hold, but keep your wrist straight. And notice I'm starting across from solar plexus, which is not over the armpit shoulder area, it's a little forward of it. And I'm going to again bridge, keeping the arms straight up first. So we inhale, curl, roll up to bridge. Reach back to ribcage arms to hover just above the floor. Sink the upper chest. Roll bone by bone, feeling that tractioning into the mat. When you get to tailbone neutral down, bring the arms back up. Keep them up as you roll up to bridge. Pause and reach back. Inhale. Hover there as you sink the chest. Roll down bone by bone. Unravel down and arms up. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, curl. Roll up to bridge, reach back and hover, inhale, sink the chest, roll down bone by bone, and unravel, and bring it up and pause there. We're going to do tiny presses outward 4 times, 4 presses. Now remember, when you press, it's not a bouncing, it's always press. I'm turning so you can see, press and a slow release. You're always controlling both directions when you're doing pulse. I call it pulsing, but it's really not pulsing like this. It's slow pressing and releasing to just tautness. All right, so over solar plexus, we press out 4 times, 1, and release to just tautness, 2. Keeping the wrist straight, 3, and 1 more, 4. And then curl, roll up to bridge. Reach back to hover. Now here's the challenge. Keep it slightly above shoulder line and press 1. Stay in your bridge. 2, 3, 4, and hold and sink. Roll down. Bone by bone to neutral. Bring the arms up. Now pull all the way side. Band moves to the solar plexus and slowly up. We're going to do that twice. Pull and slowly up. Pause, curl, roll up to bridge. Reach back, hover, and do the 4 smaller presses in a 2 to 3 inch range. 1, 2, just like we did before. 3, staying in your bridge. 4, just to tautness, sink and roll down, bone by bone. Unravel and bring the arms up. Pull side, exhale, and slowly up, inhale. And pull, exhale, and I'm going all the way side on these, and up, then curl, roll up and reach back, and then press 4, 3, so you get a little combination going here, 2, 1, then sink the chest, roll down, and unravel and up. And then release and rub your hands out just a little real quick. Alrighty, And then we're going to slip our head support in. I like to use a little head support for some of what we do, as you know, and then bring yourself into your neutral, interlace your fingers. We're just going to do a few chest lift or ab curls to warm up a little bit more. Inhale, nod, sink to curl, exhale, and lower down. And nod and sink, and lower down, and one more. Nod and sink, curl, reach, sliding that breastbone away from the chin. So you have this nice head over upper sternum area and lower. Now I'm going to do that with the band, and in a way this is an assist. So some of what we're doing is resistance work, and some of it is using the band as an assist or as a reference to bring a different focus to the exercise. So there's lots of ways to use the band, not just the pulling and working with resistance. So I'm going to take my band because it's long, fold it in half, scrunch up on either side to even make it slightly shorter. So depending on your band, you might not need to fold it in half. And then what I'm going to do is take the middle open flat part. Let me see if I can get this organized a little bit better. And I'm going to take that like a hammock and place it behind the back of the skull, not on the neck, the back of the skull. And then that becomes my little hammock, and I'm just using it almost as an assist, but it also can help me focus a little more, getting the head and chest in the right position. So I'm going to inhale, prepare for ab curl, nod the chin, sink the breastbone, ab curl, but I've got just that little assist to support me so I can feel the abdominals hopefully a little bit more. Inhale and exhale down. Inhale, nod, slide the breastbone away from the chin to curl, keeping the tailbone anchored. Inhale, hold it, and lower, exhale. Now we're going to add a couple of those tiny pulses. It's not a bouncing action, remember, and we're not using the band for that. We're just using it still as a hammock. Inhale, nod, curl to your ab curl, and we just lower a half inch and up for 4. Exhale, 3. Exhale, 2. Exhale, hold. Inhale, lower, exhale. Now we're going to do the ab curl with rotation, still using the hammock. Inhale, nod, curl forward, stay, twist to the right diagonal, center, twist to the left diagonal, center, twist to the right, center, twist to the left. Hold, inhale, lower, exhale, one more time. Inhale, nod, sink the breastbone to curl, check tailbone anchored, go left first, twist. So we're just doing our ab curl with rotation, twist. This is challenging, a little bit more so in some ways than using the hands behind. I feel my abdominals more and lower. Now, take the band out from behind. Again, rub your hands out a little bit. And then we're going to keep the band, if it's long, folded and make it taut, just shoulder width apart. And we're going to do the reach forward as we ab curl. And I'll cue you from there. So keeping your neutral pelvis, inhale, nod, ab curl, and reach the band toward the top knees. And then take a tiny pulse here and reach 1. Keeping the tautness, 2. Exhale, 3. Exhale, 4. Take the band up for challenge, keeping your ab curl. Inhale and lower, exhale. Inhale, nod, ab curl to reach forward, tailbone anchored. And pulse, lower half inch and up, 1. Exhale, 2. Exhale, 3. Lift, stay, 4. Keep the ab curl as your arms go up. Inhale, lower the chest, exhale. Hopefully we felt that, yes? Okay, and so now let's do some supine spine twists. I'm going to remove the ball, and we're going to bring the knees and feet together. And this time we're just going to hold the band above the solar plexus with a tautness on the band. Again, I'm keeping mine folded, and I'm keeping those back shoulder blades anchored. This is going to be a more challenging version because instead of anchoring the arms to the T shape to help keep my upper shoulder girdle placed, I'm now holding the band up here, which means I have to work a little more to stabilize my shoulder girdle as I do the supine twist. So we're going to do the more basic version with the feet down. So we have the toes on the mat, heels up, knees and feet together. Now we're anchoring the back shoulder blades throughout, and we're keeping that upper body as stable from the breastbone up as stable as we can.
All right, so now we're going to tip the pelvis and knees to the right, but I'm keeping my arms straight up with that tautness on the band and squeeze abdominals to bring it center. And over to the left, keeping this perfectly stationary up above me here, and back to center. We're using the abdominals. Inhale to sway over, keeping the back shoulder down on the opposite side. That's where you have to focus a little bit more. And center, and over, keeping the opposite shoulder down, or the back of the shoulder blade down, and back to center. And 2 more like that. Inhale, and center. Exhale, navel to spine, and inhale. Not moving those arms, and shoulder blades anchored. Now, next level of difficulty, tabletop, same thing. You might have to keep it a little smaller. Keep the band straight up. Inhale. A little harder to do that here, so I'm not going to go very far. Exhale. This is a little more challenging. Ooh, yeah, really have to work because you don't have that big T shape to anchor you. And 1 more like that on each side. Really keeping the opposite shoulder blade down. And again, I'm making my movement a little smaller when I have my arms straight up. Now, I'm going to add opposition. Now, as my legs and pelvis go to the right, my arms, keeping the tautness on the band, are going to go to the opposite left, and I'm going to look there. Then that allows me to go a little further, and I bring it back to center. Then I'm going to go to the other side, looking in that direction, inhale, but keeping the integrity of the middle of your abdominals and not losing control and letting your legs separate or flopping to one side. So very controlled. Inhale, keeping tautness on the band, looking in the direction of the band, and back to center. Exhale, and over. Inhale, keep tautness on the band. Keep the arms straight. Also, don't bend the elbows. And once more each side. Inhale, and exhale to center, and inhale, exhale, pause, center. Now we're going to do toe dips, but we're going to add a little reach back on the diagonal with our top band. Dip the right toe as you reach back. Inhale, and bring it up. Exhale, and dip the left. Inhale as you reach back, and bring it up. Exhale, and I'm feeling that challenge. Hopefully you are too. Inhale, and bring it up. Exhale, and dip it and reach. Inhale, and bring it up. Exhale, stay. One at a time, place the feet down. All right, we're going to go into the 100. For this one, I'm going to open my band up. Now, we're going to start in tabletop, and we're going to be doing little presses on the band. So I'm going to do a set here. So we take the legs to tabletop. We put the flat part of the band over the shin area close to the knees. We grab on either side and the amount of tension you feel is appropriate for you. Bring the arms alongside with the palms facing the floor and the wrists straight. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale to ab curl. Now keep that ab curl and press the arms up and down for your pumping, but now we've got resistance. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3. We're really feeling it here. 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug it in. Roll the head side to side. And come on. Shh, shh, shh. My dog's making a mess. He's all upset. He's making noise. Okay, now we're going to go into another 100. And this time, instead of the band over here, we're going to be reaching the band just a little toward the legs here as we do a little set of 100. Now, we're not doing that pumping, so when I reach here, well, I am doing a little pumping, but it's a little different because it's a little higher and smaller. But I have a little pressure against the thighs. Now, obviously, this is a more advanced version. And so you want the band to be able to press, so don't get it too wadded up. Press against the thighs here a little bit, okay? So first, to get into that, I would take the band about shoulder width or slightly wider. Depending on the strength of your band, you might want to hold it wider. Then lift the legs one at a time. Place the band across the front upper thigh area and then reach out long. Inhale, prepare. Ab curl, straighten the legs to Pilates V and start your little pumps. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since we already did a full set before, I'm just going to do 2 more sets. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Last set. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. All right, hug in. One at a time, put the feet down. We're going into roll up. Now my band's long, so I'm going to fold it, but I'm not using it to pull on for this one. I'm just holding it as a reference. I'm going to take my band a little wider than shoulder width in a taut position. Then I stretch the legs out together, get into neutral, reach up and back to rib cage arm in your hover, and we just hold the band taut to start for a couple of roll-ups. Inhale, nod into ab curl. Peel off into your C curve reach. Inhale, roll bone by bone, squeezing those legs together and unravel down. Just a regular roll up, one more time. Inhale. Abby wants to come do Pilates with us. And reach, exhale. Inhale and roll down bone by bone. Feel that articulation and roll all the way down. Now, I'm going to change it a little bit. So because I'm going to be pulling on the band, I'm going to go ahead and open it up so that I can use resistance. I'm going to hold it a little wider than shoulder width, and I'll be doing tiny presses, remembering to control it in both directions, but I'm going to be using those presses in several different ways throughout the roll-up in a little bit of a sequence. All right, so let's roll down onto our back. He's 90 pounds. It's hard to move him out of the way. Okay, Abby, come on. Get your little self to one side. There we go. Okay. All right, now, we're going to start with the band up and back hovering and stretch out to your full extension, legs together. Softly stretched feet, plantar flexed, and neutral spine and pelvis. And make sure you're not bending the elbows, but you're also not locking them into a hyperextension of any kind. Keep your wrists straight, especially be aware of that. And notice I'm not going way back like this. No, I'm a little above, higher than I would do normally for ribcage arms or normally from your starting position. And that's because I'll be pulling on the band later in this position. I just want to start so you get that position set up. Now we're going to take the band up just above solar plexus and pull outward 3 times. 1, very smooth and controlled. 2, 3-inch range is fine. 4, and then keep the tautness, continue into ab curl. Peel off into your C curve, arms parallel to the floor, hips and shoulders lined, and deep C curve. And now we do 3 pulses here. Press thumb side out, 1, 2, keeping your deep curve. 3, then just keep tautness on the band as you roll back and pause when you get to the ab curl position. Lowest rib on the mat and press 1, 2, 3. Roll down and reach back. Now right here, make sure you're not too far back with your arms. They're just hovering above shoulder line and you press out 1, 2, 3. Inhale forward to ab curl. Peel off, exhale. Pulse 1, 2, 3. Roll back to just your ab curl and pulse 1, 2, 3. Roll down, up and back. Pulse 1, 2, 3. Inhale to ab curl. Exhale, peel off into your reach. C curve and pulse 1, 2, 3. Scoop and roll, pausing at your ab curl. And now we're going to pulse 1, 2, 3. Stay in ab curl as the arms go up. Pause there, lower the chest and head. And now press out wide, wall to wall, and slowly up. And press back wide and up. and then reach back, inhale, forward, peel off, exhale, reach out through a flat back, come up to a diagonal, arms in line with your spine on this slight forward diagonal. Press 3 times, 1, a little more challenging, 2, 3, then bring it straight up and wall to wall band in front toward the chest, exhale, reach up, inhale, press it, exhale, reach up. Now from here, scoop and roll down bone by bone. Unravel, reach back. And we're going to start the arms. Inhale. Roll up into C, curve, reach. Pulse 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Lengthen out to that high, flat back diagonal, arms in line. And pulse 1, 2, 3, bring it straight up vertical and pull side band in front. So you notice we're doing a little sequencing, and it's different from the first sequencing. You would never need to do both of these sequentially like I'm doing today, but I'm just showing you different variations. And then scoop from that vertical position, roll down. And when you get to over the chest, let's do another full pull side. Band moves to the chest, slowly up. And then bend, release your band, rub your hands out a little bit. All right. And then just do a reach back for stretch, circle around, reach up and back, circle around. All right, good. And then bend the legs in, then pick them up and hug them in. Give your back a little stretch. If you need to, rock a little side to side. And now we're going to do rolling like a ball, and we are going to use our band. So I'm going to fold my band since it's longer, and take it across the front shins, but you can always take it behind the back legs if that feels better for you to get into your ball shape for today. And then I'm going to do an underhand grip. I find that better for my wrist for this particular configuration of the band. And then I use the band to help pull in, and I tuck the elbows at the waist, palms facing either toward the body or slightly on a diagonal upward toward the body. Then I use the band to help me into my tight ball shape, and I keep pulling on the band as I roll back. Inhale, and keep pulling on it as I roll forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Another variation. Hook that over both feet. Same idea, still an underhand grip, and do it here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I'm just giving you different variations. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hold and balance, and then feet down. Okay, now let's roll back down for our leg circle. Now, I often use the band for leg circles, and I usually introduce leg circles at my fundamental level with the band to support the weight of the leg, so people that have tight hip flexors don't have to work so hard, and also just to prep the exercise. But even for the more advanced dancer, this is nice, especially people who have tight hip flexors again, to use the band as an assist. Normally I keep the band loose to help people start to focus on not having to rely on the band, but today we're going to go ahead and choke up on it and give it some tension. Elbows to the mat, stretch out your bottom leg if you're able to and still be in a neutral. And then we're going to do our and we keep the circles smaller. We don't need to do big ones, but we want to keep that tension. Here we go. Across, inhale, exhale, up. So I am using more tension today on this one because I want a little more focus on the stretch part of it and to release the hip flexors more. So you'll feel the difference between having more tension and not having more tension. You can experiment with that and feel the differences, and that will determine which version you'll do for your client or your class. Let's reverse it, out around and up. So for my beginners, I might start tighter like this and then loosen it up so they start working a little more abdominals and have to learn to control the leg, not rely on the band, to transition to using it without the band. But for an intermediate level, maybe you're using it to focus more on the stretch and release the hip flexors, especially dancers who tend to be very tight in their hip flexors, and other athletes as well. And or you're a person that sits a lot in hip flexion. Okay, one more, and then we're gonna change. I just like to bring the other foot in and very carefully switch out. Always make sure your band is secure and not gonna pop off your foot before you get started. Check your neutral pelvis. That's what we want to start in. That's what we want to try to maintain as much as possible. It might move slightly, but you don't want to actually tip your pelvis off. We're not doing that version where you tip your pelvis. All right, start across. Inhale, exhale, and up. Inhale, exhale. I'm doing a slightly bigger circle today because I want to work on range of motion and stretch in this focus of the leg circle. If I'm focusing more for a client that needs more control and abdominals, I might take it a little smaller and work on that. And up. Breathing, always focusing that breath as you work. One more. I'm doing quite a few, and then reverse. Inhale, exhale, up. Anywhere from 5 to 10 in each direction is okay. Inhale, exhale. I really love leg circles. Really like doing them. Really helps me sink that femur head into the hip socket, into the socket of the pelvis. That cup, you know, where it really spins in there nicely. Really like this because the band helps really anchor that femur head into its little home where it likes to live. Okay, and then we're going to release the band and put it down and rub our hands out a little bit because of holding that band for quite a while. All right, now let's hug in, and we're going to go ahead and go into some abdominal work, our abdominal block. And so I'd like to use the band for most of these. So I'm going to go ahead and open my band up so I don't have too much tension by folding it, and hold it a little wider than shoulder width, and then hold it above and flatten it out as much as possible so it's not wadded up. We're going into single leg stretch first, and I'm just going to press the band over the top of the shin and knee, and you can adjust the tension as you would like, so that I'll demonstrate real quick, so that as I'm switching, I'm doing a little press down onto the band as I switch. So I'm putting tension here, releasing it to switch, and then tension again. But I want to be careful not to wobble side to side and to also maintain a good ab curl positioning. I don't want my head to fall back. So if you see that happening, you want to pause and maybe eliminate that tension. All right, so arms up, widen your band a little. One at a time, lift your legs tabletop. I'm going to go ahead and start with both the leg, have it across both shins to start with a little tension, and then ab curl. And now we switch. 1, switch 2, exhale 3, press 4, reach 5, press 6, press 7, exhale 8, exhale 9, exhale 10. Okay, now we're going to do a double leg stretch. There's a couple of ways you can do this. The first thing I'm going to do is keep it the way we just had it, a little wider than shoulder width. And we're going to, I'll demonstrate it real quick. We're going to reach the arms and legs away, but I put a little tension on the band. And then as I come in, I just press over both legs. And I reach, inhale, and bend and press over the shins. Okay, so that's the first version I'm going to do. Notice you stay in ab curl the whole time. All right? Arms up, one at a time, lift. Inhale, prepare to ab curl, exhale. And now reach arms and legs. Inhale to diagonal, forward and press, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, the next one, I'm going to fold my band and hold it taut. And this time, I'm not going to press against the legs, I'm just going to reach it forward and back. So this is just a different variation. So I'm going to start an ab curl, reaching over the legs. And then I'm going to reach, inhale, and just bring it forward, exhale. I'm not pressing across. Inhale, but I'm keeping it taut. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And lower. Now, for the crisscross. Again, we can do a couple of variations on this. First one, I'm opening up the band again and holding it a little wider than shoulder width. Now, normally we do hands behind the head as we rotate, but we're not going to have the hands behind, so this would be a little more challenging. And as I twist toward the bent leg, and I take the band across and pull on it slightly. So I'm pulling on it slightly. I'm going to start this direct toward the camera first. So I'm going to go exhale, then you switch and pull, exhale. So you're on a diagonal with the band. Exhale, pull, exhale, pull. So they're pulling the bottom arm down, the other one stays on the diagonal up. Switch, and I'm rotating the upper body toward the bent leg like we normally do. This is challenging. Exhale, exhale. Now the other variation is a little more assisted. I'm going to fold the band. This is maybe the one you'd start with if your client needs a little support for the head while doing this kind of thing. And then you're going to make that hammock again and do your regular crisscross, but with that little bit of a hammock. But notice, because the arms are nice and wide, it is very challenging, but you do have that little assist. So for people with neck issues, this is a better version, but yet it's still very challenging. Okay, let's hug in. For the hamstring pull, I can keep my band folded like this, or if it's shorter band, you can open it up all the way. And then, normally, we grab behind the leg. But what I can do instead is just press against the band. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. I can also bring it behind and do it with a little pressure. Make sure the band's above the knee though, not on the knee joint. And it's really the bottom leg that's working against the band. And then switch. Exhale, exhale. Exhale, exhale. Switch and stretch. Switch and stretch. Nice straight arms. Keeping the tension in the band. Press. Press. Okay. And hug in. And then for the double leg lower lift, we can just take the arms up in front of over the base of the breastbone, the solar plexus, on that slight down, not straight up over the armpit, but a little forward. And then when you do your double leg lower lift, I'm in my Pilates V, ab curl tailbone anchored, and I'm just going to keep the band straight up like this, a little forward of the shoulders, and do inhale, squeeze up, exhale, but I'm keeping tautness on the band. Inhale, squeeze up, exhale. Inhale, squeeze up, exhale. Inhale, squeeze up, exhale. Hug it in, roll your head side to side, releasing any tension in the neck. Now sometimes when I'm doing a class, I'll break those up. Instead of doing all of them in a row, very challenging, I might break it up a little bit and come back to the abdominal block after a few other exercises, and that way you give them a little breather in between. Maybe do two, a little breather, the next two, then the last one. All right, let's go into basic back lift. I'm going to use my band. I'm going to open it up, but I'm only going to hold it slightly wider, or about shoulder width actually, or no, actually slightly wider than shoulder width, but behind, once I lay down, alongside the back of the high legs, and I'll be doing my basic back lift, hovering the arms, and I'm going to do a couple with the legs down and a couple with the legs added in, but it's just a basic back extension, your real fundamental, but by adding the band, it makes it more challenging, more into your intermediate level. So I'm going to first lay prone on the stomach. Forehead can be on the edge of a little towel, so your nose doesn't get smashed as you set up. I like a slight open V for this one. Heels a little bit apart in an externally rotated V. And then I'm going to take the band alongside the bottom of the glutes, hold it about a little bit wider than shoulder width, And extend the arms, draw the shoulder blades away. So already I'm activating everything, navel lifting away from the mat. But my pelvic triangle is on the mat neutral. And my legs in that open V. Now, I'm going to hover the upper chest, but I'm going to reach the band toward the feet and maybe put a slight pull outward on it. As I hover, inhale and lower, exhale. Inhale, slight hover and a slight outward press. Not a lot, just like ½ an inch max. And lower. Tightening the belly underneath, inhale. Pressing out slightly and lower. Now we add the legs. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale. And then release the band and push up and back to rest position. Take a few breaths here. Inhale. Expanding the back ribs, exhale, and again, inhale, exhale. Now we're going to do our 4-point kneel, but with the band. So take the band opened up, and take it to the upper mid-back, under the arms, around the upper rib cage area, where it's just above the tips of the shoulder blades. Wrap to the front, choke up a bit, and then bring yourself into 4-point kneel with the hands under the armpits, knees a fist apart, bond your shins and top feet, and make sure you're in neutral. Lift your breastbone against the band into your neutral. Look diagonally forward of your hands. Now, from here, I have tension on the band, and I want to cat stretch, but I'm focusing that upper mid-back, pressing into the band to expand it. And then I am doing a full C curve, and then lengthen. But I'm focusing the upper mid-back. Curve and arch, exhale. Lengthen, inhale. Hollow the belly, curve, spreading the upper mid-back. That helps people learn how to expand those back ribs. They feel something tactile there to expand into and feel it stretch there. And lengthen, and one more scoop. Now we go to neutral, and we're going to try out here trying to get our little flying table. So we're going to take the arm and leg in opposition. You got some tension there. Hold it for a breath or two and bring it in. Other side, reach. Hold it a breath or two and bring it in. And again, reach and bring it in. And reach, and bring it in. Round again, lengthen, and release your band. And rub your hands out a little. All right. Now sit facing so that you can extend your legs in front of you, apart the width of your mat or shoulders. Flex the feet. We're going to do some spine stretch. Normally our spine stretch, we're just holding the arms forward and reaching, but we're going to take the band about the width of, the shoulders in an open position here. And now my palms will face the floor because I'm holding the band. Now lift up tall and just keep slight tautness on the band. Don't actually pull on the band, okay? We hollow up and over, curve to reach forward, but I'm keeping tautness. So I do feel a little tension on the band, and it helps me focus from the armpit to the little finger connection. So that mid-back to the finger. And that's what the band will help activate a little bit more. And then roll up. But you're not actually pulling on the band yet, okay? Inhale, up and over, curve to reach. You just have that tautness to feel that connection. And roll it up to sit tall. Inhale, up and over, curve and reach. Inhale, exhale up. Now we're going to add some pulses. We're going to press 1, 2, 3. Keep it taut, do your spine stretch, and stay and pulse. 1, 2, 3. Roll it up and press 1, 2, 3. Curve up and over, reach, and press 1, 2, 3. Lengthen out high diagonal, arms in line with spine. Then bring it up vertically, Pull side band behind the head to the shoulder, upper shoulder area and up. If this is not helpful to your client and it feels bad on the shoulder, take it in front of the head to the chest like we did earlier. Palms face forward, nice positioning in the torso trunk, in neutral, and then forward. Rub it out. Saw. I'm going to take the band, again, shoulder width. And when I go across, I'm taking the side that I'm twisting toward. That arm goes a little bit of a up diagonal as the other one reaches across. So instead of the arm going behind me, it's going to go on this little diagonal. Now I've got a long enough band, I can adjust my tension looser and still have tautness if I need to. That's why I like a longer band. But you may have to hold the ends of your band if it's a shorter band, okay? Make sure it's secure though and not gonna pop out of your hand. So saw, here we go. Inhale, prepare, saw across, exhale, that arm pulling up diagonal, and center inhale. And exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good. Now, we can also take it a little longer if you have a longer band and reach back slightly as well. Exhale like the original. Inhale, but you have to have a long enough band that you can do that. Exhale, inhale. So those are two versions. But you can pick the appropriate one. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Relax, rub it out. So that was our spine stretch and our saw. Now we're going to do the spine twist. For this one, I'm going to take the band behind the upper mid-back again and grab and hold out to the side. You can do palms forward or palms up, and you can leave the legs apart if it's better or together as the original is. And we're going to do to the twist. Exhale, exhale, and the band actually becomes a reference to keep you in good alignment, I think. But you also have a little resistance to activate a little more through the arms and shoulder girdle area and upper mid-back. Exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, and inhale. Release, and let's give it a stretch. Take a little deep breath, inhale, round over, exhale. I like to stretch a little more when I'm using the band in between things. I want to stretch it out a little bit just so I don't get too fatigued and kinked up. So always use the appropriate number of reps. So I'm not doing as many reps as you can see perhaps as I would without the band. Roll up, and now I'm going to go ahead and stretch the shoulders a little bit and the upper arms. So I'm going to do that little reach back and take a couple of deep breaths there. Exhale. Exhale. Good. All right. So now, let's go into our shoulder bridge. No head support. Move that out of the way. And we'll roll down on our back. Now, again, normally in our shoulder bridge, we're up and we're doing our leg up and down. Well, we can add a little bit. We might not be able to go down as far though. So we could add the band over the leg that's going to be moving. Give it some tension, elbows down, and then bring it knee to knee. Now you're going to bridge. Come up to your bridge. Check if you need to loosen or not your tension. And then we're going to go inhale, exhale down past the knee, or just at the knee is fine. If you go past the knee, the band's going to come on the inside of the knee so as not to get you all discombobulated there. And reach through the back leg and up, keeping that hip up. Now if this bothers the wrist, I wouldn't use the band in that case, or you could try an underhand grip. In this particular exercise might feel better on the wrist. For me, it does feel better. Up and down and up and stay, lower. Press into the band as you lift the hip, lower in one piece, press it up, lower in one piece, press up, bring it forward knee to knee, hold it, roll down, and now we're going to switch it out. I like to just switch one to the other instead of completely taking it off and starting over. If your client's able to do that, great. If not, you'd have to, do it the way that feels best. Again, I'm doing an underhand grip, elbows to the mat. Bring the knees together. Notice the bottom leg is not jammed up close. It's a little bit out of way. That gives me a little more range through the leg and hip. All right, so nice straight leg, knee to knee, flexed foot to keep the band nice and stable on the foot and keep that tension anchored. And we gonna bridge first. Inhale, pelvic curl, roll up to bridge. Actually bring the foot a little closer. There we go. On this one, I forgot, yes. All right, now we're gonna go up, inhale, forward, exhale. Again, the band's coming on the inside of the bent leg. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I'm still pushing and controlling through the leg, and the band is helping to keep that continued integrity of the movement, and so it's not sloppy or haphazard. That's why I like the band. It's hard to be jerky in the band. Now come knee to knee, straight up, lower the whole spine and pelvis in one unit and press into the band as you push up. Inhale, press up, exhale. Inhale, press up, exhale. One more, inhale, press up and bring it knee to knee, hold, and then roll down, and then bend and release. Rub the hands out. Yes, and hug those legs in. Rock a little. All right, we're going to do rollover. Now, rollover is difficult to do with the band, but what you can do is normally when we do the rollover, the arms are alongside. If you bring the band around behind and just put a little tautness on the band as you bring your arms alongside. And that helps for me, connect my mid-back even more because I'm feeling that little press out and that activates that upper mid-back. All right, so we're going to start. Inhale, roll over, exhale. I'm keeping a little outer pressure on the band. Flex and open. Inhale, roll down bone by bone. And articulate and circle around. Inhale, roll over, exhale. Flex and open. Inhale, keeping that little outer pressure. Roll down. And you can do more, or we can reverse it. Inhale, open, roll over in your open position, shoulder width, flex. Bring the legs together. Keep that tension on the band as you roll down bone by bone. And reach forward and open. Inhale. And flex and together. Sink the chest. Roll down, keeping that tension, bone by bone. And forward and open. Inhale. Exhale, flex and together. Inhale, sink, keep that pressure out. Roll down. And then bring it in. Release your tension, hug in. All right. Now, for sideline. We can use the band in a lot of different ways in sideline, but I'm just going to show you a few. So let's stack up on your side. Have your band right there. And I like to use that head support. I'm going to hook the band before I lay down. It's a little less awkward. And I'm going to put it over the sole of the top leg. I'm going to bring the ends of the band together, grab, and I'm going to choke up a bit, and then stretch out. Now, I'm going to start right away into the sideline position with, actually I won't use my head support for this, with the legs on a slight banana shape. Now, I have to keep that top foot dorsiflexed because I don't want my band to pop off by pointing and having it roll off the foot. So I'm going to keep it slightly dorsiflexed. And then I'm going to bring my hand to the outside hip, keep that anchored there with the shoulder down. And I'm going to have the legs straight out to the wall opposite, the bottom leg on that slight forward diagonal, stacked pelvis in neutral. And we press up and down a few times, just keeping the tension on the band. Inhale, exhale, up. Keeping everything stationary and stable. And pause at hip bone height. And then I'm going to do a little tiny bend. The band's on the upper side of the knee, and press out. Inhale, bend, keeping that tension, and press into the band. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Combination, I bend, stretch, little up, down. Bend, stretch, up, down. One more, bend, stretch, up, down. Now side kick, exhale, exhale, reach slightly back, inhale. Exhale, exhale, reach and stretch. Stability is the challenge here. Exhale, exhale, and reach. Exhale, exhale, and reach. Shoulder down on top. Exhale, exhale, and reach. I'm just doing a few, and then center over the, straight out over the, in line with the hip bone, and we're doing a tiny circle forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the leg forward a little and then a little up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight out. Now a little bigger circle. 1, and back and forward. 2, 3, reverse. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, release that. And let's do a little rest position here real quick. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to do a front support here before I go to the other side, but I'm going to take the band up around the upper mid-back, under the arms, choke up on either side. I'm grabbing this with my palms facing in this direction. Let me get it more even. And then I'm going into my 4-point, so I have tension and I feel that in my back. Getting in your neutral, go to your front support and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Push up into the band and release and sit back. And then leg pull front, same thing. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit back. Okay, other side for sideline. Hook your foot in the center of the band. I like to kind of do it while I'm sitting first, so I get it on there well. Put the band together, grab from on top, choke up a little, stretch out first. I have my bottom leg bent first. Bring the hand to the hip, and then I'm going to try and stretch that out to a banana shape and keep my pelvic neutral on its side. And then a tiny pulse. 1, 2, inhale, exhale. Keeping abdominals tight, top shoulder down. That's it. One more. Good. And then we're going to take it in a small bend. The band's on the top part of the knee, and press. Bend, choke up a little more, and press. Bend, and press. Inhale, exhale. Don't go higher than your hip bone. You want it just the level of your hip bone there on top. And stay straight, and we do combination. Up, down, bend, press. Inhale, exhale, bend, press. Up, down, bend, press. Up, down, bend, press. Up, down, bend, and press. Okay, and then we're going to do some side kick forward. Exhale, exhale, reach it back. And this is where the stability comes in. Exhale, exhale, reach and stretch. Now I'm keeping the foot dorsiflexed because I have the band on it. You don't need to try to point. Exhale, exhale, reach it back. Exhale, exhale, back. Tight abdominals in front, but lifting under your side body, always keeping it active on the mat. And reach. Exhale, exhale. And reach. Take it straight out. Little circle here. Forward 1, 2, very controlled. 3, I'm going a little slower when I'm using the band. 4, 5, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it forward and up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it straight out. Now we do that big circle. Forward, circle slightly back, forward, up, and slightly back, through and forward, up, and slightly back, and again. And reverse it, and back, and around. And try to stabilize, not rocking about through that pelvis. And last one. Whew. All right, bend, release your tension. All right.
For the next set, we're going to go into prone for our single leg kick. But what I'm going to do is take a piece of the band about shoulder width, palms facing down, and then I want a little tension on that band as I pull outward on it a little bit. And then I'm going to lay down onto my elbows, tuck the band, and bring it palms up. But a little tension outward. If you have thumb issues, then you might want to grab from underneath and pull out. Is also another way to do it. But I'm doing starting down, palms down, then flipping it, and then keeping tension. Single leg kick, legs together, lift the navel, shoulders draw down. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Now, I have low back issues, which I've had all my adult life from a dance injury. So I can't kick in very close. And ideally, if you can get that knee just ever so slightly off the mat when you flex in and contract those hamstrings, I have to modify a little bit. But make sure if it bothers your back that you lower all the way down. Maybe just don't use the band. And cross your hands and forehead on your hands. Keeping a little outer pressure on the band as I work. So I am working the upper body here too, in many ways. Not just the band, but just even supporting here. Now, lower down, and we're going to be doing the double leg kick. So to do that, I'm taking the band behind, and normally I cross the hands on the upper mid-back, but I'm going to grab with my hands, let me just show it this way real quick. I'm putting my hands together at the back of my waist or upper back so that I can have a little tension here, and then when I press, I'll keep that tension when I press out to my extended legs. And so I'm not exactly fist to fist. I want a little space in there so I have that tension when I stretch. So having said that, we all go on our stomach, cheek to one side, then adjust your band on either waist or upper back, slight couple of inches between the hands, elbows dropped, legs together. Double leg kick. Exhale, 2, 3, stretch and pull slightly out for that resistance. Other side. 1, 2, 3, stretch it. And 1, 2, 3, stretch it. And 1, 2, 3, stretch. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, stretch. 1, 2, 3, stretch. Lower. Let's get a rest position real quick before we go on to the swimming. We're going to bring the band in front of us. And then when we lay back down, we're going to hold it a little wider than shoulder width with palms facing toward the mat. All right. Open the legs into open V. Now, we're going to do that opposition flutter for swimming, but we'll keep a little tension on our band as we flutter. So hover the chest and look down a little bit towards your mat.
Then lift the legs to your swan and lift the arms slightly. And now opposite arm and leg and flutter. Inhale. Exhale. Little tension on the band. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale. One more set. Inhale. Exhale. And rest. All right, push back to rest position. Deep breaths here. Inhale through the back ribs. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. And now we're going to do some seated work. So let's come to a sitting pad if you have tight hip flexors, and cross your legs. And then, and I have tight hip flexors, so that's what I'm going to do. And then, grab your band. And we're just going to do some more upper body, and it's not like we haven't done enough upper body throughout this whole mat class, but I'm just showing this because you wouldn't do this entire class with the band necessarily. You might do pieces of it with the band. And for my fundamental classes, I like to do a seated upper body section with the band to introduce good posture as they work with resistance. And so, again, what we just did, that full session we just did was plenty, but this is just that other segment that you might use when you're not doing a mat with the band used throughout. So we'll start with those little presses, a little wider than shoulder width, across from solar plexus, thumb side pressed out so you don't break inward, and wide collarbone as you lift tall on your sit bones. Press one. I keep it very controlled in both directions. It's not important how wide they go. It's more important that they keep a little tautness at all times, and posture is number one focus. And so their neutral spine. Everybody's neutral is slightly different, so their neutral spine. Then you can take that little in front of the crown of the head. Same, we did these in the mat. So now we're just isolating this movement without moving anything else. This would be more for your fundamental to beginning level clients that you might need to work more for stabilization, just seated as they work so that they don't have to focus on too many things all at once. And they may not know the mat repertoire as well. And so you don't want to throw things at them. You got to build up to it. And then we can do a little wider hold if you need to and do a full pull to the side. Careful again, the wrist doesn't flex. You always want to check that. And thumb side pressing slightly out so you don't get that inward break. And then control it forward just to tautness. You never go limp, fully limp. It's just a slight tautness at the starting position. Exhale and inhale. Then you can do that same pull from above. Goes in front of the face. Palms are facing forward, and control it up smoothly so we don't hunch those shoulders, and that's what you're cueing to make sure they are aware of a nice strong straight arm without hunching. And so for fundamentals level, this can help even just with 2 or 3 reps, even if that's all they can do, working on posture and alignment. Okay, now I can go behind if I want a little more stretch through the shoulder girdle area, but this would only be for people that do not have shoulder issues, impingements or recovery from an injury. You wouldn't want to take them back here, or possibly neck issues even. You just want to be careful, or they'll compensate and then it defeats the purpose. And then forward and down. Let's take a break and rub the hands out. You don't want to do too many things in a row without giving the hands and wrist a little break. Just the holding of the band for some people is difficult, especially if they have wrist-hand problems. You might need to only do a few things at a time. Okay, now I like to bring it the flat part around the upper mid-back. Choke up and tuck the elbows with the palms facing up. So this is just introducing some things we do later on the reformer as well. So we're going to start with offering. So we press forward to shoulder height and back to the waist. And I've got resistance even when the elbows are bent, but it's just a slight resistance if it's a fundamental level. And then I just am again focusing on the alignment of the whole upper body and torso as they work. Then you can take that on a slight incline on an up diagonal. And again, watching the shoulder girdle area
that it stays in good alignment. And then of course combinations, offering forward and a slight incline. And then I'm going through these pretty quickly. You would break them up possibly. And then I'm going to take it out to the side, and I'm going to just soften the elbow and bring the hands a little forward up the shoulder line, and then do your hug a tree and just to that side diagonal. Exhale, a little below shoulder height, so that when you close forward, your hands are across from the solar plexus. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. All right, and you can do anywhere from 3 to 10, depending on your level and what your client base is like. Okay, then let's bring it back around in front, and we're going to take. And now, if you're on sitting pads, I would recommend you can either put it underneath your sit bones and still be on the sitting pad, or underneath the sitting pad itself. I'm going to just put it under my sit bones on the sitting pad in between. Okay, and then make sure you open it up a little before you sit on it so it's not wadded up too much. Now my torso is going to anchor the band, and then I'm going to do a palm forward, band in front underneath the arm here, and I'm going to press and bend. And you might need to loosen or tighten depending. And this is it's not a salute, quite a salute. It's more of a slight up diagonal, back to just a kind of goalpost position. And then, if you loosen a little bit more and maybe scrunch it up in your hands, you can do a little bit of a salute. And I would keep it a little bit narrow. And for me, because I've got an impingement on my right side, I'm going to take it a little looser that I'm still dealing with. So don't want to aggravate it. And one more. All right. Then you can do a one band, and you can press straight up and down, or I'm going to turn the palm toward me and press up, arc it over, side lateral bend, up and bend in. Press up, arc it over, lift and bend. Now, because I have a long band, I'm using the seated position. If you don't, you can take the end of the band in the hand and anchor it behind you, and possibly do the same thing here if you don't have enough band to sit on it. But that's why it's nice to have a couple of bands that are different lengths as well as different weights. All right, then you do that on the other side. Up, arc, up, bend down. Press up, arc, up, and down. Press up, arc, up, and down. Press up, up. One more. All right. And then for chest expansion, I can either do it standing or kneeling. And I'm going to put the band at the front of the thighs and choke up a bit, and I can just press back like that. And adjust your tension as needed. And if they can't kneel, no, don't need to kneel. You can do this standing. I'm just going to kneel because it's easier to see me. If I stand, I'm out of the picture a little bit. So press, press, press. For bicep curl, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can take the band, and I'll do it seated here. You can stand and hook it under one foot. I'll show that real quick. But you have to have a good weight on the band with your foot so it doesn't pop out from underneath. And you can tuck the elbow and do a bicep curl here individually, and then do the other side. Or you can sit and then anchor it either at the same, well, I would do opposite, yeah, opposite. And you won't have as much resistance this way, but for your beginner, it might be okay. Or behind a little bit, like so. And again, not so much bicep here, but you can, it depends on your level. So I would stand on it or sit on it to do your bicep curl, preferably standing one side at a time. Then you can also do your, we did chest expansion, we did tricep, we did side over, We did bicep. Oh, and another tricep. So this one you can do standing by taking the band and dropping it behind you. So I'll sit for you so you can see. And then bend the elbow, hand behind the back of the head. Then line your head up. Grab it about your waist and pull down to anchor it at either the mat if you're sitting or at your tailbone area. And then you adjust your tension as needed, shoulder down, and then you just press straight up. So I'm going to do it without the sit pad so you can see a little better. Okay, so you would press and bend. Now you can do this standing as well, or seated. Okay, so you take the band in the hand, drop it behind, palm faces toward the front, bring it behind, grab it about your waist, grab the band at about your waist level, and press down to the mat or down where your arm is almost straight. Then, you do that with your elbow bent. Grab and grab. Then you press, and you can adjust the tension as you need to. Now you're trying to keep the elbow toward the ceiling, the palm facing forward. Try not to break that wrist at all. You don't want to put strain on the wrist. So if I turn from the side, I'm holding it down here as I press up. Yeah, so I keep that tension. And that would be your another tricep version. Okay, then after we've done all that, those are just some ideas. You're going to just stretch it out a little bit. Always, so we're going to come across, press the arm towards you to get that nice shoulder stretch. Deep breaths. And other side. And you can hold these longer. And then your tricep stretch, I usually go up, tap yourself on the back, grab the elbow, pull it towards you, tricep stretch. Other side. Interlace behind, press straight down and lift slightly if you want for shoulder chest stretch. In front curve. And stretch. And then maybe another lateral stretch for the side body. It always feels good. And then, of course, stretch out your lower body. And I won't go through these for very long, but we worked the entire body. So let's go ahead and do a hamstring stretch with the band. And we'll just choke up where it feels appropriate. I like to stretch in your neutral pelvis, keeping the tailbone down and finding the stretch position from there. Really deep breaths as you hold your stretch. Take a small bend and stretch. Turn the foot inward, sole of the foot toward the center. Peroneal stretch. Legs slightly across. Back up. I'm going through these quickly. Open to side diagonal. You can always hold them longer. I'm just showing them real quick again. And then it truly is a full Thera-band class. And back up and slip the other foot in. Quick change, set up the other side, hamstring stretch. Love using the band in Pilates because it works the way your muscles work, resistance in both directions, concentric and eccentric contractions, and it enhances the work, brings challenge, but also can be, as you saw, an assist at times to the exercise. Lots of ways to use the band. And these were, not the only ways. I just gave you some ideas. A little bend and stretch. And then turn the foot inward, peroneal stretch. And leg across. And up to foot normal and open to the side diagonal inner thigh stretch. Getting those adductors lengthened out. Lately, I want to start focusing more on the lengthening aspect of Pilates, not just the shortening or flexing part of Pilates. We do a lot of abdominal flexion work,
but also the lengthening is very important to incorporate, and the band sometimes helps us with that as well. And then release. Okay, now we're going to rub those hands out and do one more stretch for the hips, which we did work quite a bit today as well, so let's do our hip stretch. And we should have felt a real good, comprehensive body conditioning method of working through Pilates with the Thera-band. And it's a great enhancement. And again, you can always take just pieces of what we did today and incorporate them into your regular mat work. I just showed the whole thing with Thera-band to show you the different things, but I rarely do all of that in one class. Only with my advanced students do I usually do that. So you can take little segments using the band and incorporate them into your classwork with your clients. And if you're doing individual client work, again, you can take segments and use them as part of your comprehensive session. And then I like to do a little opposition low back stretch and hip flexor stretch here. For me, I already feel the hip flexor stretch right here, even without the getting below the line of the pelvis, because I do have tight hip flexors, so I always like to do this one too. And also it eases out the low back, and it just kind of gets your organs kind of in a good place as well. It's a great little exercise, or a great little stretch. Now both legs in, just give it a hug, rock a little side to side. Roll on over to your side. Let's take a couple of breaths. One more. Great. Thank you.